okay, the service is really bad. My YouTube channel. This is Ev's Vlogs, and today is going to be another reaction video on Russia. And this one is Visit Russia, 10 Shocks of Visiting Russia. Okay, so let's get right into it.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in St. Petersburg, Russia for the 10 things that are going to shock travelers when they come here to Russia. So let's get started. And the first thing that shocks people when they come here are the people. And some of it is the service when you're here, or lack of service. Yes, don't expect a lot of service when you come to Russia. It can be shockingly bad and time-consuming and just frustrating. And yes, sometimes it seems like they don't care and they don't smile back, and that kind of shocks some people. But look, they're not mean, they're just reserved. And the thing is, when you get to know Russians and they open up to you, they can be some of the most fun people ever. I mean, I've had so many great parties and great dinners and great times with my Russian friends I've made around the world. I mean, have you ever had a party and then when you go to sleep, someone tries to sew you into your bed? Yeah, that's the fun stuff that Russians do. And when I've had the chance to meet the people, you know, and when it's really helped, it's just knowing a few words of Russian can turn that stone face into a, hey, you could be a friend of mine kind of thing. And it really makes a difference. So do try to learn a little bit so you can meet the people. Because I can't tell you how many cabbage rolls I have eaten over the years from babushkas, grandmas, that, you know, the grandmas of my friends are like, oh, Mark, he's all alone, he needs friends. And they'll be like, bring him over, you know.
With regards, with Russian being reserved and not smiling like that, well, I think it's just about getting to know people, right? Because I have some Russian friends where I used to work with them before, and you know what? There's one of the most amazing people in the world. Oh my God, they are so nice, they're very friendly, and they're very talented as well. One of my Russian friends, you know, did a photo shoot of me, you know, and she was so amazing. She was so lovely. She's so good at playing piano, and you know, she's so good at singing. Oh my God. And you know, she doesn't even charge me, you know. She just loved doing, you know, a hobby, and you know, sharing her talent with other people. And you know, I think it's just being friendly with individuals and getting to know other people, right? So yeah, I think I would say if I go to Russia, well, obviously I am, you know, I need to adjust myself, and you know, I'll probably be the one to first smile to them and say hi, hello, or obviously the language could be a barrier, but you know, a smile goes a long way, right? So I just smile. Hello Russia, hello.
I've had times where it's, hey Mark, my friend Max, his mom's like, well, Max would call, it's like, my mom, my grandma said you have to come over because you need to eat, because they were worried about me. I mean, the people really are super hospitable when you get to know them. That's why you should take the time. If you're going to go on the Trans-Siberian Highway, bring a deck of cards and something to drink so you can share and play cards and gamble and stuff like that, because you will get to know the people, and it is quite fun to meet them and hang out with them. And that's why I really want to say is it shocks people that yes, that service can be so bad, but this people can really be wonderful when you get a chance to actually meet them. So if you get a chance to, do meet them, all right? Now, the second thing that shocks people when they come here is actually deciphering the language. Look, Russian is the Cyrillic alphabet. You will not understand anything, and it shocks people when they come here and think, oh, well, I'm sure they know some English or something like that. No, look, Russia is one of the largest countries in the world in population size and things like that, and so they focus on Russian, just like in the US. It's all in English. Here it's all in Russian, and finding people that speak English is sometimes hard to find outside of, you know, some of the major cities, and even in places like St. Petersburg and Moscow, you don't always get a lot of English around there, even in the tourism industry. So make sure you do know a little bit. And remember what I told you, knowing a little bit of Russian can really warm people up. So spasiba, you know, thank you, and you know, a pivo, you know, for a beer, or hey, let's get a pivo, you know, let's get a drink. Oh, hey, you know some stuff. It really opens people up. And yes, does, yes, and is, no, and things like that. But it is one of those things. And I'd also say, yeah, where, that's one of the things you should know. But it is really cool. And the thing is, though, it is really hard to decipher the letters. So before you come, make sure you at least try to get an idea of what the letters sound like. Like the backwards R is a ya, and then there's a D that looks weird, and you got you think it's a P, but actually makes an R sound. It can get kind of confusing, and when you're taking the metro and you're looking for places and you can't figure it out, it can get really shocking and scary for people. So I do recommend get a Google Translate app and download the offline version, so you can just take a picture of things and and translate it for you. It will make your life a lot easier. But you will be shocked how you have really no clue when it comes to the Russian language. Now the third thing that's going to shock you are the churches, specifically the Russian Orthodox churches on the outside, with the onion domes and all the colorings. But for me, it's the insides of the churches. So you go to St. Basil or the Spilt Blood Church here in St. Petersburg. They're just gorgeous with the icons inside, the gold, the silver, and all these things. It is truly amazing. And you go in, you're like, wow. I mean, you go into so many churches where you just go, wow, and you get shocked by that beauty. So don't skip the churches when you come here. Go and enjoy them, because they really are shockingly beautiful. Now the fourth thing that shocks people when they come to Russia is they realize that, wait, there's more than St. Petersburg and Moscow. Yes, you can go to the Kremlin in Moscow, but you know what? You can go to the Kremlin in Kazan. Kremlin means citadel. That's where the church and the walls and all these things are. And you can really see it in lots of different places. And Russia has a lot of great places to check out. Yes, St. Petersburg with the Hermitage and the Winter Palace and the river here and all these kind of things are super awesome to do. And in Moscow with the Kremlin, Red Square, and seeing Lenin, yeah, it's great. But getting out and exploring Russia is really a fantastic thing. So, for me, I know when I was doing my research, I'm like, man, Kazan with the mosque there and the Kremlin there just looks gorgeous, and I really want to check it out. Go on a Volga River cruise, something like that. You have all these things that are really amazing. So don't be shocked when you realize that, hey, wait, it's not just St. Petersburg and Moscow. No, this place is huge. And that leads to the next shock, is how insanely huge Russia is. Look, Russia goes from one side of Asia to the other side of Asia and then into Europe.
Wow.
Okay, it's huge, and that Trans-Siberian Highway that Trans-Siberian Railroad will take you days, weeks, maybe a month to go through it all. So you really need to realize the size of this place is enormous, and especially if you're going to even the cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg. When you look at a map for a Berlin or a London, you think, oh, I can walk that. Or Rome, I can walk that. St. Petersburg, when you see these things, you go, man, that is too big you don't realize you can't really walk those distances. It's so big. So make sure you do use that public transport, because it is very helpful. It goes lots of places and makes a big difference. And yes, you can bring your kids here too. It's not a big deal. And with that size, you really need to plan ahead with flights and transportation, because of the distance and time it takes. It really is more helpful to have a better idea when you get there, so you're not trying to go place to place to place. You really need to plan it out beforehand because of those distances. Now, another thing that's going to shock you when you come here is the weather. And I'm going to tell you, the weather is no joke. Sometimes you can have great, summer nights like we are here, the white nights here in St. Petersburg, and that is really cool. The daylight through the summer is fantastic. But when winter comes, it is dangerously cold, and you need to be careful when you are here, all right? So when you are coming, make sure you bring clothes to layer up, bring those warm clothes. Even in the summer, make sure you got those layers, because it will get chilly once the sun doesn't really go down, but once it starts to hover near the horizon, you want to be careful with that. Now, the seventh thing that shocks people when they come here is safety can be an issue, whether it is pickpockets in St. Petersburg or Moscow, or it's getting ripped off by taxi drivers, or it's people trying to rip you off just in general. These things do happen to tourists, and it does shock them how often these things happen. And it's not just in the tourism industry and stuff like that. I've got shook down by police when I've been here. These kind of things do happen, and so you want to be prepared. So make sure, if you're not, evenings, finish up and head back to your hotel. Ask your hotel where you should go.
I think with safety issue, I think in general, wherever you go, there's always a danger, right? Even in any country, there could be a pickpocketing. So obviously, I'm sure it's not just in Russia. I think wherever you go, so you just always have to make sure that you're always ready and prepared, and that you research well, the place that you go to before you travel there, right? So I'm sure it's not just Russia. I think, of course, in general, there's always a danger wherever you go, especially if you don't know the place very well, right?
or shouldn't go, you do really need to pay attention with these things. And I would say with the safety kind of thing, I don't recommend, don't take pictures of the police, don't take pictures of government buildings, well, like military buildings and stuff like that. I mean, you can take a picture of the Kremlin from those things, but you do want to be careful when you are here. And probably the most shocking of all those safety things is the traffic. When you'll see, when you go on YouTube, you'll see the traffic dash cams around Russia, and you'll be like, oh my God, these people drive crazy. They do drive crazy. And when you're in the crosswalk, it's like they're aiming for you. You got to be really careful with that, okay? So just heads up on that one. The 8th thing that's going to shock you when you come here is sticker shock. Russia is expensive, whether it's getting your visa costs, hotels, restaurants. For tourists, it can be quite expensive proposition coming here, and you will be shocked that sometimes there's 2 prices. One for the locals and one for travelers. So you will have to pay more for museums or other things. So just be ready for that. Don't be shocked by it. Just realize it can happen, and don't try to trick them, because you'll be shocked, but they'll realize, dude, you're not Russian, okay? Now, the 9th thing that's gonna shock you when you come here is the hassle and the pain in the buttness of getting your Russian visa. You gotta, this is one of the things you gotta be planning as like a month in advance. It's not something you can do last minute to come. You really have to think about this, because it can take, with an agency, like 4 or 5 days, or it could take up to a month if you're doing it on your own. And getting the invitations, the hotel stuff, it's shockingly frustrating to do. So just a heads up on that, okay? And the 10th thing that's gonna shock you is when you're in Moscow, yes, you really can see Lenin's body. No, you probably can't take pictures when you are there, but you can see him. So I hope you like your 10 shocks. If you want to learn more about visiting Russia, things you're going to love and hate, what you don't do when you come here, check us out on our website at waltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those fun things. And we put out new travel videos every Wednesday and Saturday. So please do subscribe and have a great time here in Russia. It is a lot cooler than you expect. You will be shocked how much more fun you'll have than everyone seems to tell you will. Bye.
Oh, so hot, so hot. Sorry guys, it's quite hot here in the UK right now. Well, anyway, I think every country you go, wherever you go, I think there's always a pros and cons. So I think that is very, very important that we are very prepared, ready, and we research the place before we go travel. And I think, it's very, it's a good advice to bring, or if you're going to travel somewhere, a place or a country that you don't know, maybe bring someone, or travel with a friend, or like example, if you know someone in Russia, then maybe travel with them. Maybe that could save you from any hassle, from any scary, or it could save you from anything that is very worrying. So I think it's very important that you go and travel with someone who knows the country, right? And anyway, I think that Russia is beautiful and it looks very interesting to visit, and I hope that I could go there one day. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!